Haji Noor sworn in as Sabah's 16th Chief Minister. Sarawak tightens travel conditions. Good afternoon, you're watching Updates at Noon with me, Renee Fong. Sabah Bersatu Chairman Datuk Haji Muhammad Noor was sworn in as the 16th Sabah Chief Minister at Istana Negeri at 10:30 a.m. today. The 65-year-old Baja warlord from Tuaran has the backing of all 41 assemblymen under the Gabungan Rakyat Sabah GRS amid a shadow being cast by a Warisan Plus leader that the bloc was also still trying to get the numbers in a 73-member assembly. Nearly 48 hours after Saturday's election, GRS comprising of Barisan Nasional, Perikatan Nasional and Parti Bersatu Sabah (PBS) has overcome the impasse between Bersatu and UMNO over the choice of Chief Minister. The coalition agreed that Datuk Haji was the sole choice after Sabah UMNO's Datuk Sri Bung Mokhtar Radin pulled back the party's demand for the position following tense discussions after the election's results were announced, which gave the coalition 38 seats to Warisan Plus 32. Datuk Sri Bung Mokhtar in turn takes the oath of office as the Deputy Chief Minister of Sabah and Minister of Local Government and Housing. Other Deputy Chief Ministers who took their oaths included Star President Datuk Dr. Jeffrey Kitingan, who is now also the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, and PBS Vice President Datuk Dr. Joy Kim Gunsalam, who is also now Minister for Industrial Development. The Sarawak Disaster Management Committee SDMC has tightened travel conditions for those wanting to enter the state following the rise in the number of COVID-19 cases in Sabah. Deputy Chief Minister and State SDMC Chairman Datuk Amar Douglas Uga said that Sarawakians, permanent residents and state visa pass holders who are planning to return to the state via Sabah and Labuan need to fill out their particulars online at Enter Sarawak. They will be subjected to Home Surveillance Order HSO for 14 days and to wear a wristband.
Ujian swab RT-PCR akan diambil semasa ketibaan di lapangan terbang atau pada hari kedua dan hari ke-10. Kos ini akan ditanggung oleh Kerajaan Negeri Sarawak. Bagi mereka yang telah membuat ujian RT-PCR 3 hari sebelum masuk ke Sarawak dan keputusan negatif, ujian swab RT-PCR akan diambil pada hari ke-10 sahaja. Kos ini juga ditanggung oleh Kerajaan Negeri Sarawak.
For airport transit procedures, all passengers from Sabah and Labuan are disallowed to leave the departure hall, and the HSO quarantine order will be issued at the first point of entry, and they are required to wear a wristband. For those with final destination in the interior of Sarawak and live quite a distance from health clinics, they will be quarantined at designated hotels or centres. Meanwhile, Malaysians from Peninsula, Sabah or Labuan, and foreigners entering Sarawak via Sabah or Labuan must fill out the Enter Sarawak form and attach their COVID-19 swab test results before the travel date for approval. The Civil Defence Force APM is ready to mobilise more personnel to assist in coordinating COVID-19 screening on individuals returning from Sabah at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport KLIA and KLIA2. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Special Functions, Datuk Sri Muhammad Rizwan Mat Yusof said 50 personnel were currently on duty at the airports, and with more than 4,000 members, more personnel could be mobilised to the two terminals. He said APM, as a frontliner, is ready to help and if it needed, will send more personnel due to its sufficient manpower.
Kita ada 4,000 yang kita boleh mobilize. Di KLI hari ini kita dah mobilize 50. Itu yang dikehendaki. Kalau nak hantar lebih, kita boleh hantar lebih. Itu tahap kesiapsiagaan APM itu sendiri dari segi sumber manusia.
He said this to reporters after chairing a Central Disaster Management Committee meeting in Putrajaya yesterday. He was responding to public complaints on congestion at the airport terminals during the COVID-19 screening on individuals arriving from Sabah. On Saturday, Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said individuals returning from Sabah must undergo COVID-19 screening at the entry point starting yesterday, Sunday, until 10th October. Datuk Sri Muhammad Rizwan said using its own assets, APM could also assist in sending persons under investigation and persons under surveillance to hospitals or quarantine centres. Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin launched the Ministry of Higher Education's National Economic Reform Plan Penjana Career Advancement Programme, or KPT-CAP, which ensures graduates of the Skills Improvement Programme are gainfully employed. He said the course under the KPT-CAP programme was designed according to the needs and requirements set by companies hiring these graduates.
Tidak seperti program peningkatan kemahiran yang biasa dilaksanakan. Program penjana KPT-CAP ini yang julung-julung kali diperkenalkan adalah unik. Uniknya ialah oleh kerana para graduan dipastikan akan memperolehi pekerjaan setelah mereka menamatkan dengan jayanya kursus-kursus yang ditetapkan.
He said this when launching the program at University Kebangsaan Malaysia UKM yesterday. About 140 courses with 100 companies are involved in the program, including Top Glove Corporation Berhad, Western Digital Malaysia, Huawei Technologies Malaysia Sdn Berhad, and Hong Leong MSIG Takaful. Tan Sri Muhyiddin, who expressed his concern on the fate and future of students graduating this year, said graduates can now apply to join KPT-CAP through the Ministry's Graduates Reference Hub for Employment and Training, or GRADE portal. He said he would like to call on the graduates of 2020 and 2019 who have not been fortunate enough to land a job to take the opportunity to learn more skills and competency values to further improve their marketability. Coming up next, PUNB extends moratorium until year end. Johor Police will intensify its efforts to eradicate the drug menace in the state by enforcing Section 39C of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952 on repeat offenders. State Police Chief Dato' Ayub Khan Maidin Pichai said that a total of 509 people had been arrested from January until 27 September this year under the provision and are now in jail. He said any offenders found guilty under this section can be sentenced to imprisonment of not less than 5 years and not more than 7 years, and caned not more than 3 times. Dato' Ayub noted the majority of the offenders are also involved in other crimes such as theft and house break-ins, and their removal from society can reduce the rate of criminal activities. He was met by reporters at the closing ceremony of the Pioneer Project at Dewan Tan Sri Muhammad Rahmat in Johor Bahru yesterday. The Pioneer Project is aimed at creating synergy among 9 ministries, 15 government agencies and local non-government organizations (NGO) in curbing the drug problem. Dato' Ayub added that Section 39C is police's main weapon in exterminating drug issues in the state. The Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives Ministry (MEDEC) will propose the introduction of incentives such as tax relief for companies to the Cabinet to encourage more alternative microfunding from the private sector. Its Minister Datuk Sri Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar said this would help reduce the reliance on conventional way of government funding and grants to finance business needs, given that demand for such financing is growing amid limited government capacity. Hence, he said the ministry would facilitate and promote access to a diversified financial landscape via alternative financing platforms spearheaded by the private sector.
Satu jenis bantuan patut disediakan kepada pihak-pihak ini. Kerana masa COVID ini berlaku, kita membantu mereka secara pribadi sebagai orang yang below 40, B40. Tetapi tidak ada bantuan khusus untuk peniaga sendiri, melainkan berdaftar. Jadi dia ini informal tidak berdaftar, jadi tak ada bantuan.
He said this to reporters at the Memorandum of Agreement MOA signing ceremony between SME Corp Malaysia and Axiata Digital Capital Sdn Bhd in the nation's capital yesterday. The MOA is to provide microfinancing worth 150 million ringgit for small and medium enterprises SMEs, which will likely be disbursed in 18 months' time. Asked whether the government would slash allocations for funding and grants for microfinancing in the upcoming 2021 budget, Datuk Sri Wan Junaidi said the reduction plan is not immediate. He said MEDAC would request some allocation from the 2021 budget from the Finance Ministry for informal business and micro SME development, especially in rural areas as well as less developed states such as Kelantan and Sarawak. Perbadanan Usahawan Nasional Berhad PUNB aims to extend its moratorium period by another 3 months ending 31st December 2020. The extension is to allow about 1,963 business financing recipients to repay their loans of about 155 million ringgit.
Jadi PUNB kita bagi kepada semua secara automatik kita bagi. Sebab kita buat dasar ini kerana kita sendiri melihat ramai usahawan di bawah PUNB ini memang terkesan apabila berlaku COVID-19.
Tan Sri Noh said this after a working visit to the Rakan Usahawan PUNB business premise in Shah Alam yesterday. Commenting on the Bumiputra Relief Financing BRF, he said about 3,000 applicants were received by PUNB since 25th September. The BRF scheme is open to entrepreneurs affected by the COVID-19 pandemic with a total allocation of 200 million ringgit. A biography highlighting the deeds and involvements of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah in sports was launched yesterday. The 195-page book, Raja Sukan Berjiwa Rakyat, People-Oriented Sports King, was about the life of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, his love and high commitment towards sports by becoming a player and also a leader at the state, national and international levels. In a book published by the Pahang Sports Council, His Majesty's personality was clearly proven through his involvement as a school football player, while his sports leadership was revealed after the club Seri Mahkota Alam was set up in Pekan Pahang in 1974. Without neglecting other sports, Al-Sultan Abdullah had set up the Seri Mahkota Alam track and netball teams to give the opportunity and encourage the people to be actively involved in sports. He was very active in sports administration, especially football, and was president of the Football Association of Malaysia FAM from 2014 to 2017, held the presidency of the Malaysian Hockey Confederation MHC, and was active in polo. The entry procession of the biography to the stage was performed by national hockey legend Datuk Mirnawan Nawawi, former national football player Datuk So Chin Aun, and former Pahang polo player Nurdin Abdul Majid. The regent of Pahang Tengku Hassan Al-Ibrahim Alam Shah Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah consented to launch the book in conjunction with the 61st birthday of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. And that concludes today's edition of Updates at Noon. In our top story, Datuk Haji Noor sworn in as Sabah's 16th Chief Minister. Tune in to News at 10 coming up at 10 p.m. on saluran Berita RTM on My Free Views channel 123. You can also stream the news by surfing RTM's MyClick. Thanks for watching Updates at Noon. I'm Renee Fong. Have a pleasant afternoon.